Hello everybody, this is Janelle from Batty Bloomers, and I am here to show you some plants that you can divide in your own garden if you can't get to a garden center, which right now may be the case. Where I'm at, that's not a problem, so I'm thankful for that. But, and even just to save some money, if you have some of these plants in your own garden, you can divide them, and I'm going to sell these out by the road for just $1 a piece, just to make a little money to support my plant addiction. So I'll go through the different ones that I dug up here, and I do need soil, and I have a niece who works at a garden center that can't drive yet, so I will take her tomorrow to work and I will buy some more soil. So the first thing I have is Coreopsis, and this reseeds itself every year, and it has a nice yellow flower, and if you deadhead it, cut off the dead flowers, it'll just keep blooming and blooming, and they're beautiful in bouquets. And so I found 4 nice sized plants that came up on their own. I have a ton more, but they're not as big as these, so I didn't plant these. They came up, they planted themselves. The next thing I have is Black-Eyed Susan. Now, like I said, I need soil. They need soil, but these come up everywhere, and they're a nice yellow, sort of daisy-looking flower that they reseed themselves very readily, and they're just kind of coming up everywhere in my garden, so I need to take care of that. So I have a lot more I could pot up and sell of those. And then I have red bee balm, and it doesn't look like much, and if you have this in your garden, they send runners, you can see here, and all you have to do is put that in the ground. You can see the little tiny roots on it. Put that in the ground and cover it, and it'll grow. So that's nice, and they do spread, but they're beautiful. Red bee balm, they attract bees. Yeah, they're a nice plant to have. They're in the mint family, and you know a plant is in the mint family by the stem. The stem will be square. So it's kind of hard to tell, but if you feel it, it will feel square. Then the next thing I have is oregano, and I have some huge clumps of oregano that just needed to be divided, and I thought, well, I'll dig it up and put it out by the road and see if anybody wants it. This too is something that you can pull off a stem, and you can see here all the roots. Just one little piece. Stick that in the ground, and that will spread and give you lots of oregano. So I have some of those, and then I have some variegated iris that I bought from a local lady who always has amazing flowers, and a couple years ago she said she wasn't going to be selling anymore. Well, I went past her house not too long ago, and she had a whole bunch out. Of course, I didn't have any cash to buy any, but I bought these from her years ago, and they have just done really well for me. I know some people have trouble with variegated iris. They do well for me, so I could divide it and sell these. They get a lavender colored iris, and they're very pretty, just for the foliage. But then I have lamb's ear, and this is really soft. It's fuzzy and soft, and it readily spreads for you. And I already divided some and put it in some new gardens I'm making, but I figured I'll divide some more and put out by the road. And then the next thing I have is purple bee balm, and this, I will show you the clump I have. I'll try to go slow so I don't make you sick. Is over here, and you can see that all is purple bee balm, and I only put a little chunk in there, and it's huge, so I could dig up a lot more of that and sell it. And it's gorgeous. It gets pretty high, probably 3 feet high or more, covered in like purple flowers, and the bees are covered on it. My girls like to pick up the bumblebees that don't sting and play with them every summer. So I dug up some of that. This does the same thing. It sends runners, but they're shallow runners. All these that I talked about that have runners, the red bee balm, the oregano, the lamb's ear, and the purple bee balm, all their runners are really shallow, so they're easy enough to dig out if they're taking over a spot you don't want them. There are some plants that the runners go really deep, like to China it seems like, and they're really invasive, but when they're shallow runners, they're easier to control and take care of. And another thing I wanted to show you was some of my vegetables I'm planting this year. I don't have a vegetable patch, but I'm going to do things in pots and see how that works. Sorry for my mess here. Here I just bought lettuce the other day. A local farm down the street sells flowers and plants, and she also sells eggs. And I bought some eggs from her, and then I saw these red romaine lettuce, so I bought some of those. So we're going to try them in a pot. I have lettuce in the garden, green lettuce, that I let go to seed, and that comes back every year, so I'm going to try to harvest some of that this year. Maybe even put it in a pot so I have a better handle on it. And down here, in this pot, is potatoes. And the reason it's so empty is because you put your seed potatoes and you cover them with dirt, and when they start to shoot up, the new green leaf, green shoots, you cover it with soil, and you'll eventually have it covered to the top of the pot, and has all that room to make potatoes under the ground. And then over here I have carrots. I can't remember the brand or the name, the variety, but they're coming up, so that'll be fun. And then I have over here, past the bee balm, red onions that I put in here. And I didn't fill this up because I don't think they need a ton of soil. I didn't want to waste all the soil. So we'll see how they do. If I need to put more soil in, I will. And then this also has potatoes in it.